There we go.
Go. Yeah.
Back. Another Peg City Sound Off. This month presented by Frozen Fire Studios. Oh, Nipah. As you can see the logo behind me. And I got a new computer. Some people know that. And the camera's in a different place, so I got to get used to looking at this camera being in a different place. So we'll see how this goes tonight. If I look all disoriented or not. But tonight we are here with returning guest Luc Clement. Luke, what brings you by tonight?
Thanks for having me back again, Joel. Basically, it was just kind of to talk a little bit about just a recent project that I'm super excited about. So I did a collaboration project with uh, Evan and Dale from Northern Royals, and we also got Zen from Leadwin. We got John, got a lot of people on the track actually, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to share the word and spread the excitement. It's a really cool track, very guitar heavy, especially with those guys on there. That was kind of the goal. Just take the track and just make it sound explosive. I mean, it's already a great sounding track, but just make our own version of it with lots of heavy guitars and great vocals by Evan, obviously. So it's been a long project in the works, so I'm really excited to finally get it out into the world. See
Awesome.
what people think. Yeah,
We talk about the track.
yeah.
Should we tell them what the track is?
Should you tell them what the track is?
Well, we were talking about it.
Yeah. Take a guess.
Take a
Out of the
guess. Any
black, baby.
guess?
Yeah. Out of the
Out
black
of
is
the
the song.
Black.
Out of the black. Yeah. Yeah.
Originally done by
Royal blood.
Royal
Yeah.
Blood. Royal Blood, yes. You got Evan and Dale from the Northern Royals doing a
Yep.
Royal Blood song.
Yep.
I actually listened to it earlier. Not your version.
Yep.
The original version. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear your version. This I think you got the right people in there. Like you said, it's very guitar driven.
Yeah.
Zen from Leadwin,
Yep.
Dale from Northern Royals, Evan on
Oh,
vocals,
and Matt Corey, obviously. I
and Matt
almost forgot
Corey.
about
He was
that.
my
Yeah.
next name I was going to bring up. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Matt Corey's involved. Matt Corey played a show at the 40 last night
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Peter Entry and Ash and the Arsonist. I'm sure it was a banger of a show.
Yeah.
Um, so let's go to Out of the Black. Why did you pick that song? Now, just before we get to it, actually, you were on here the first time we were on here. We were talking about your summer of '69 that you did with a couple of the boys out there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was a big fan of it. The group vocals. I forget what we called it. Something else. Not group
Um,
vocals. What do we
yeah.
call it?
Gang vocals. Gang vocals.
Gang
Yeah.
vocals.
Yep.
Sounds
Yep.
better that way. Sounds
Yeah.
tougher.
Yeah. Totally. Sounds more hardcore.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. I
So what
totally
was
agree.
the what's the inspiration to go with this song this time?
Um, I think when I did Summer '69, and then obviously I was kind of going through a big phase of I was listening to lots of Royal Blood. I was listening to a lot of Exomerida because they remind me a lot of them, like their sound a little bit. I don't know, I was going through this phase, and I'm like, this is a cool song, but I would love to make it sound like, I don't know, just like what I did with Summer '69, kind of just make my own version of it with my kind of modern production style, I guess. And and it was like the same thing as Summer '69. Like I had my buddy Dan Boyer come do the drums for it, and then I didn't really know kind of what direction it was going to go in yet. We just kind of started tracking it, and then I was just talking to Dale, and obviously I know they're big Royal Blood fans as well. So I was like, you want to do some guitar on it, and then yeah, it just kind of started coming together, and the more layers we added onto it, the more the vision came, and then it's where I started to where I finished is not where I thought it was going to be, but it just kind of came together organically, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah, lots of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So so Luke, you're no stranger to recording in studio stuff.
Yep.
What goes into it when you're dealing with you're pulling in musicians? Just obviously they're coming in at different times. You're not all doing
Yep.
it all the. You're not all together. You're doing it separately.
Yep.
How
Yep.
how do you control that, manage that, mix that?
Yeah. So basically, whenever I do a production, it's always drums, guitars, bass. and then any other extra instruments if there is, and then vocals. Like that's always typically my order of doing things. So yeah, it's basically like um, usually we'll get like a scratch track going for guitars, just so the drummer has something to follow. Sometimes like some bands will ask for more. Sometimes they want vocals and other instruments as well, just to have something to follow. And then yeah, it just starts off with like the drummer laying down his tracks. I do any kind of editing that needs to be done, and then yeah, just keep layering, right? Put the guitars. So yeah, it's very rare that like we got all the guys in at once, like you're saying. It's always usually separate people.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like once the instruments are all tracked, like I said, just any kind of editing that needs to be done, and then it's on to mixing. Where like, but a lot of the magic is just in the tracking. Like, it's like I think a lot of people like um, think that like mixing is where all the magic happens, but like a lot of the magic happens in the recording phase. Where you're laying down the tracks and choosing the tones and getting amazing performances. That's what makes an amazing record, right? And I think that's something that I underestimated too when I first started doing this. Like it's really all about the tracks and the performances and the character and like all. There's so many elements involved. Obviously, the mixing is important as well, but that's a huge chunk of it for sure, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Isn't that kind of what really sets apart a guitarist too, right? Is the tone. You can play guitar, you can rip, you can shred, you can do all the fancy stuff, but if your tone isn't there, and that's something I discovered actually through the last year, is I've been searching for a tone, and to be honest with you, it may have been the Northern Royals EP release for their latest. Seeing Dale go up and play,
yep,
and Dale had the craziest tone,
yeah,
and I then began my venture on trying to find tone. I think I found it
yeah,
about 2 weeks ago. Actually,
yep.
actually, it was the week of our EP release.
Okay,
I
yep,
found a tone, and I don't know what it is. I just played with well, you know what gear I have, right?
yep,
And I played with that and played with it and dialed and dialed and dialed, and I found this tone that I'm absolutely loving right now. And then at the EP release, I used it once, and it was on the last song,
okay,
second
really,
last song.
yeah,
Yeah, and I wasn't sure about it. I thought I'm not going to use this, but I used it on the last song, second last song, and realized I think I might have found it. But that's just kind of the thing, right? You can go through so many amps, and in the last couple of weeks, I've had an AC-15 using my Tonex, obviously, and then I just had a Fender Blues Junior loaned to me for a week,
yep,
and it's just this. It's like finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow here. You
yep,
search for this tone and then eventually get it. But I may have to credit Dale for giving me the inspiration to start looking because of that tone. So, and
yeah,
then, after you hear someone with a great tone, and then you keep looking for it, right? And Matt Corey, actually, another guy on your track. That's another guy that when he played Winnipeg last, he had some big tones going on, and I don't know. It's just it's one of those things I always looked past growing up. Where it's just like, well, just give me some gain and you know
yeah, yeah,
turn down the
absolutely,
mids a little bit and yeah. And now it just seems like that's the thing. That's the thing you got to look for, right? And all the greats, when you really look past it all, it's all about tone too, right? I'm just looking at overlooking my camera here, looking at some of my books here, and I got like a Pink Floyd record here, and you think David Gilmour, a guy with a great tone. There's so many greats out there that really relied on the sound of the tone, and
yeah. It's everything. I mean, like I'm a guitar player too, right? So I obsess with, and now we're in amp sim world, right? So that's kind of what I typically use now in the studio. It's just they're so good, but like I love like I've always loved like Marshalls, like Marshalls just they sound so good, or like a PV 5150, or like any of those um classic amps. Like I'm constantly chasing those kinds of tones. There's like a really sick rock tone, right? It's like a really sick rock tone can work on anything, right? So,
exactly.
and we got so many
Appar-
tools now. it's like it's endless the amount of tools that we have now. So
Isn't that the thing too, right? Is the amount of tools you're given now, it's not just plugging into an amp, like speaking myself here, my Tonex here, and if you go like on Pro Tools, even there's plugins, there's so many
yeah,
plugins.
yeah,
And it's, are you actually gonna are you actually gonna try them all? I don't know. There's Matt Corey just chimed in here. Matt Corey, if you're still watching, is it a Helix that you have? I'm pretty sure he has a Helix, doesn't he?
I
uh,
think I think so. Yeah,
I started looking at you start seeing bands, and especially with our local scene, you can just walk right up to the stage and kind of check out someone's gear, and tempt yourself not to touch anything.
and speaking of Matt, like when I asked him to lay down because he did like one of the solos on that track, like man, I sent him the track, and I think he sent me his solo back in about half an hour, and
Oh
it was
man,
like perfect. So
he's such a good
so
guitarist.
huge props to Matt for just like nailing something crazy good in like a super short time span. It was just crazy. Yeah.
He's so good. Luke, you're a
Yeah.
guitarist
Yeah.
teacher, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I believe Matt Corey does the same thing. Seems
Yeah.
he's always posting about his students. That's such a
Yeah.
cool thing. How long have you been doing that for?
I've been teaching guitar now for man, it's been probably like 5 or 6 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, it's and I'm more or less like doing that full time now. And then just the studio stuff has been just my next pursuit. But yeah, it's been great. It's awesome to be able to, and I'm sure Matt can share the same thing, but it's just awesome to be able to share your gift with other people and turn them into little miniature rock stars, right? It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so the song, it's not out yet. It's out in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yep.
2 weeks. Saturday. That would be
Yep.
the 29th?
29th. Yeah. Yeah. So not this
29th.
Saturday, but the Saturday after. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, do you is this the thing, um like Matt Dara from Ash and the Arsonist, he's got his collab season that he does. Is this something you might that you want to get going with and maybe do a song here and there?
I don't know. It's definitely something I've thought about. Like my when I first started doing these collaboration projects, like because everybody, anybody who starts off producing wants to build up a portfolio of tracks, and I just thought, what better way to do this than to like collaborate with people on songs that are already made, right? Um, but now it's becoming like kind of a popular thing now where like I've already had other bands like message me like, hey, we want like, would you be down to do this song? Like, so yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll turn into an actual thing. Like, I don't know. We'll see. It was kind of just an idea that started and it's fun, It's great to take songs and that it takes off the element of having to write something else, right? You're just taking a song that people love and making it your own with a bunch of great musicians, right? So
Mhm.
it's super fun. Yeah.
I know we've talked in the past with when we meet up at a show or something about cover songs, and I know
Yep.
we've mentioned "The Boys of Summer" by the Ataris. I truly feel it may be one of the best covers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is the way I felt about your Summer of '69. You took a song that was an iconic song and you made it completely your own.
Yep.
And that's what I feel the Ataris did with the Boys of Summer. And I'll argue that all day long that if you didn't know the Don Henley song, you would swear that that's just one of their own songs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really find with your Summer of '69. And who did you do? You did that with Brad Weave and Also Ran. Was
Yeah.
Also Ran
Also
part of
ran
that?
and yeah, also ran Brad Weeb and John as well did the bass. But yeah, yeah, actually John's in also ran. So yeah, pretty much all the
Hmm.
guys from also ran and then Brad Weeb and another one of my friends, Tommy White, helped out on the gang vocals. But yeah, it was mostly also ran. Yep.
Yeah, it's just such a cool thing, and I'm really excited to hear this new one. It's just yeah, it's just one of
Yeah,
those things
it's
I love when someone can take a song and kind of, you know, s- stay true to the song, but give it your own element and have that change where it's recognizable that hey, it's not their song, but they've kind of made it their song.
Yeah, and it's like, like what I was speaking back. It's like, okay, you don't have to write a song, but you're taking an existing song and you're basically completely changing it, like production wise. So it's actually a really tough thing to do because you do have to get really creative. Like in Out of the Black, like the Royal Blood tune is very simple. It's just a basic guitar that's playing like two parts more or less on a bass guitar, but there's not
Mm-hmm.
like instrumentally there's not a lot going on in the song. It's basically just that drums and vocals, right? So and in the version that I did, I tried to just beef it up and add a lot more parts, but it was challenging to figure out, okay, where am I going to put this, where am I going to put that? And then obviously I wanted to, because I had all these awesome guitar players on it, Zen and Matt and Dale. I'm like, okay, I want this to be like a guitar driven song. So we've got to obviously add, some sick solos and stuff, and just figuring out, okay, where am I going to put this? Is it going to sound good and whatnot, right? So it's definitely a challenge, kind of figuring out how to get it to the finish line, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, is in the future is there plans on covering a 20-pound shovel song?
Oh man. We're gonna have to see if we can get. Oh god, yeah, that would be hilarious. It's funny too because I listened back to like some of those songs, and like like a way better guitar player now, and I just hear like the imperfections because I was so young back then when I did those, but like it was punk rock, right? So nobody really
Mm-hmm.
cared, right?
Yeah,
Like you know, punk rock's not about being perfect. It's like it almost like sounds kind of cool when it's a little sloppy, right? So,
yeah.
um, but
You got to be right.
but it's for me now. Like I listen back to this now, I'm like, oh man, like I was not a good guitar player back then, right? So, but people still liked it, so that's all that mattered, right? So,
You
yeah,
know, anyone anyone watching this or going to be watching this, I recently found out Luke's band from Toronto, 20-pound shovel, and you had a song on NHL 2010. Yeah, 10.
2K10, yes, yeah,
2K10.
2K10,
Unbelievable. And
yeah.
you were swimming in money after that, weren't you?
I wish. God, I don't think I received a penny from that. Somebody did though. Somebody did. Right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what? I found this song and I sent it to my buddy because me and him we grew up playing like online hockey and stuff, right?
Yep.
And I sent it to him like, remember the song? And I think he vividly did. And actually, to be honest with you, I think I actually remember it. And yeah, that's pretty cool. What a great story though. But that was our was that last weekend we were at the tap
Yeah, that
house?
was when we were at the tap house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great night.
I think like Evan mentioned it to you first, right? And then
Yeah,
he's
he
like, yeah,
did.
this
That's
guy
right.
used
That's
to,
right.
right? Because I told this story to Evan. It's kind of funny because I told that story to Evan when he came to do the vocals for Out of the Black. Like I told him the whole story about like 20-pound shovel and all that, and then how we had a song on that game and all that, right? So it's pretty funny.
Unreal.
Yeah.
We're talking about oh yeah, there he is. He remembers it. Um just kind of bouncing back to last weekend and still talking about Out of the Black. Just getting the local musicians, we talk about Matt Corey. Obviously, like I said, he played the 40 last night. A couple other bands, great performer,
Yep.
fantastic performer
Yep.
from when he was in. But it's so cool to get involved in the local scene and the way that you're doing it too with doing these songs and bringing in locals on it, right?
Yep.
Also ran just talking about also ran too. I see they got a show at the Park Theater coming up. They're opening for Mest on their tour.
Yep. Yep.
That's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, those guys also ran are super sick. Like they're just, oh man, yeah, they're really cool. Because I love pop punk and punk. That's what I grew up listening to, and like I was a huge like Sum 41, Blink 182. That's like what I grew up listening to. So to see that there's still like pop punk in the scene and it's still like thriving is awesome. Because like when I grew up, like even in the 20-pound shovel days, like man, pop punk was just everybody was listening to it, and it was just huge, right? So
Yeah,
it's awesome to see that that's still happening, and it's still thriving.
exactly. Eh?
Yeah,
So yeah, March 29th, song comes out. It's going to be available on all streaming or
all streaming. Yep,
all
Spotify,
streaming.
YouTube, and the cool thing is that like it's gonna pop up on like Northern Royals' page and Matt Corey's page, so you guys you don't have to search just for my name. It'll pop up on all their pages. I kind
Oh
of
yeah.
figured I got that figured out on CD Baby this time, so it was just really cool.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think like
Oh.
when I released the Summer '69 with Also Ran, I think like what happened is like because in CD Baby you can put like featured artist, right? And I think like their name was like also underscore ran, and I put also with no underscore, so like it doesn't show up on their Spotify page because I missed that underscore or something. I can't remember exactly what
Oh.
happened. Yeah, just like one of those freak mistakes, So, anyways, and then like CD Baby, like I try to reach out to them so many times, and they don't seem to get back to me. So, unfortunately,
Yeah, for sure, right?
so yeah,
Awesome. Luc Clement, we got Luc Clement here talking about Out of the Black, talking about local music, stuff like that. Luke is also gonna plug something myself here, but Luke, you were also helping me out with this year's first annual Peg City Soundoff Summerfest.
yes,
Gonna be some local bands here. Luke's definitely gonna help me with the backline. Long McQuaid is sponsoring it, but I'm gonna need help figuring out all these guys. And you had some of the Royals in there. You had the Zen from Leadwin. We're
yep,
gonna have to figure out who wants to use what kind of gear, and just talking about tone and stuff. And you'll probably know better than I will, but looking forward to that day as well. Just a packed lineup of local bands. Yeah, it's gonna be a great night.
it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
You've got your ticket. You've got number two.
I believe so. Yeah,
I think you got number
yeah,
two.
yeah.
Number one is hanging on the wall. But let me be the first to say there is now. Well, you can't see it. There is 2 tickets left.
Oh my goodness, that's it. Two more
Well,
left.
the band's got the tickets,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but those things are not lasting long.
yeah.
So if I may just plug it for a second, anyone watching, if you do want to go to this Summerfest, tickets online are on Eventbrite. They are now down to $15. I finally figured out how to use that site. They are the same price as the physical tickets. The only problem is the physical tickets. If you got to talk to the bands, or maybe talk to me. These ones I think are spoken for. But if you want to go, you got to check out Eventbrite. They're $15 on there. They're $20 at the door. I don't know if it's gonna last with the door. The way these tickets are selling, there's 150 out there right now. The band's got them; they're selling them. I know Ronnie Ladderbrook unloaded a bunch already. Um, yeah,
It's gonna be
it's gonna
awesome.
it's gonna be a good night. Ronnie Ladderbrook's gonna kick it off, and why not, right? Why
Yeah.
not?
It's funny you mentioned his name. I was watching on I was scrolling my Instagram, and he just did like a O Canada, like
Oh,
he's playing O Canada at it's like a tournament or something. It's so cool. I was like, man, that
mm,
is sick.
wasn't that
So,
nuts?
yeah, crazy,
Like he
right?
had that wah pedal. I know I watched that too. He had that
Yeah,
wah pedal going there.
yeah,
Yeah, that was insane. You know what? I love the. It's something that gets done. Actually, it's quite a bit, and I'm not knocking anyone on it. But the whole, Hendrix did the American anthem Woodstock. I think that was Woodstock. Yeah, '69.
yeah. Woodstock.
He
Yeah,
does that, and and people have done it with Canada, but I don't know if anyone does it the way Ronnie does it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was wild. Even the how he started with the "Oh Canada" part and ended with the same line, right?
yeah.
And yeah, that was just nuts.
Well, it's
I think I
it's
left it on repeat.
yeah, right. Like, and it's like it's like back to with your show with Riley Saunders, you guys were talking like, there's so many awesome local bands. Like I haven't actually went to see like a big band per se, like at Canada Life Center or whatever in ages, because it's like I'm having fun going to local shows and just watching how awesome everybody is over here, right? And I pay ten
Oh,
dollars,
for sure.
right? So it's like I pay
Exactly.
$10 and I have an awesome night out, and I get to listen to a bunch of super talented bands, local bands, right? So
And discover new bands, right?
yeah,
Like
absolutely, yeah.
the other night there, who'd we go see? We saw
Penny Sleeve and
Penny Sleeve. Penny Sleeve was unbelievable.
yeah, Kingsway too.
Kingsway. So I'd
Obviously,
never
they're
seen
awesome.
Kingsway.
Yeah, they're
I'd
super
never
cool.
seen
Yep.
them. They were fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. That was my first
Uh,
time seeing them too. I have heard like lots of great things about them, but that was the
hmm
first time I see them play. Yeah, they're super
Yeah,
good.
it's nuts.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. You're right about local shows. I'm thinking back on any big shows like besides like we're going to Toronto this weekend for a show at Massey Hall, but this is like a bucket list one of mine. And then like Oasis in LA in September. But besides that, I can't think of any like big ticket shows. I'm having so much fun going to these live shows
yeah,
and
yeah.
discovering the venues, right?
And the cool
But
thing too is when you go to these live shows, like I met Joey at the Tap House last time we were there. So that was
mm,
awesome. Like you run into a bunch of people that like you see online or whatever, and they're all frequenting the shows too. So you get to like, chat with them a little bit. So that's the other awesome part too. It's a great way to network and
hmm
collaborate with new people. So yeah.
it's pretty cool. I'll give you
Yeah.
just a quick story. Today, I went to this record show, and I saw. Well, I walked in, saw John Enerson, who's going to be on here May 4th.
Nice.
Lisa Lewis, just two major people in the music community. Of course, got pictures with them. But just walking around, I saw. I've never met him personally, but the guy like Doctor Rift,
Yep. I've seen them.
Kyle.
They're awesome. Yeah. They're super
Yeah,
good.
he was
Yeah.
part of the Jerry Hatricks. I know they played their last show last night, but he was there. Paul Schaefer from the Murder Birds, he was walking around,
Okay. Yep.
and you walk in there, and I was looking at records, but I was also looking around to see who was there, right? Because
Yep.
it's just this big little music scene in Winnipeg where one person, you probably know four people attached to that person,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but just walking around there, kind of just I kept my head up looking to see who's here, and like you say, you see you go to the tap house or go to a local show, and it's like, oh, I've seen that guy, I've seen videos of his band, and then
Yeah.
you see him right there, right,
Yep.
and
Yep.
yeah, and everyone's so cool and approachable about things, and no one's walking around with this inflated ego and
No.
I'm
No.
I'm bigger than this band, so you know
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just
Exactly.
it's such a great place to be in, and I posted those pictures with John and Lisa today, and at the end I just said I love Winnipeg and I love this music community because it's such an awesome place to be in, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear this song coming out with some great local talents. All those people are just such great people. I mentioned before that every time I hear Evan do something with the Royals, whether it's a new album or a newer show that I've gone to, his vocals just keep getting better and better,
Yeah.
and he's such
Absolutely.
a performer too. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Totally agree.
and Matt Corey, great guitarist. Zen is an unbelievable guitarist for a guy who's only been playing like 3 years, right? 3 or 4
Absolutely.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think I could have picked a better lineup of guitarists, to be honest, to play on that song. Got
no,
Dale, Zen, Matt Corey. Right? It's like great, perfect.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So yeah, I was super excited that they were on board to do it, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see what people think. It's really loud and it's really heavy, so nothing more
Good
than you can
stuff.
expect from those guys.
Awesome. Well, looking
Yeah,
forward to it, bud.
yeah,
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that.
yeah. You bet.
Out of the black. 2 weeks. March
2 weeks,
29th.
March 29th, baby.
It's a,
Make sure
it's
to
a big
save the
night.
date. You bet.
Save the date. Is it available for pre-save?
It is, yeah.
It is?
Yeah, I put a link. If you go on my Instagram, there's a link for pre-save. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll
Yep.
check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, Luke.
Okay, Joel.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
you at
having
a
me.
show sometime.
Yeah, we'll talk
There's
to you
the
soon.
festival.
I gotta come
I
get my
got a
coffee
mug for
mug
you,
there.
buddy.
Perfect.
I got a mug for you.
And a Valley Narrows T-shirt too. I need one of those too.
Oh yeah, I got a medium behind me. Yeah, you're all good.
Perfect. Good.
All right, bud. We'll talk.